Hey there everyone, today we'll cover how to make a movie trailer specifically for romantic comedy. Now I use scenes from My Hero Academia to give a little bit more of a challenge on trying to make it more feel like a romance trailer versus taking the easy way out and just pulling it from a romance anime or movie. But without any further ado, let's log on in. So the first thing we're going to kind of go through is how I set the trailer up. As you can see here at the top, I have this set of screen. Let me see if I can zoom out here so you can see this stuff a little bit better. And pull this on down. Right here, I have my little green screen set up, and as you can see, I got the text right here. This is for each act or section of the trailer, and kind of basically how long you want it to be. It's a general guide, not an absolute rule. So some of these stuff you can probably see right here where you got this one at. It kind of goes over. But the first act or scene is the cold opening. This is where it's supposed to hook your audience. It can be exciting, action, funny scene. It's usually short entertainment and requires little to no context. In a sense, I kind of used it to introduce the characters slightly. And of course, your part of this is also a lot of times where you have your opening, as you can see here. I kind of did an opening. Let me zoom in so we can kind of see it a little bit better. There you go, kind of see the little opening. And so you'll kind of, this is where you'll put, it's basically like a introduction expecting people not to know anything about the story or the characters. Now the next one is your Act 1 part of the thing. It's the premise. This is where you kind of introduce everything. You introduce the story, the character. It may pose some questions to the viewer. Help the viewer know what's going on a bit. And sometimes you'll want to start with a simple music, like to build up. It does not draw too much of attention here. I'll get into what track I end up using a little later. Then our next act would be the Act 2. It's the conflict or separation. You right here, this is where you'll kind of escalate something that's going on with the characters. And most of this stuff can be used for any. In this case, I was kind of introducing Uraraka, her conflict with having to depend on Deku, the boys he loves, as well as being independent herself. So she's struggling with both her feelings of wanting to rely on him and then wanting to be able to stand on her own feet. So in this, of course, Act 2, you do want to create some sort of uncertainty or doubt. Now, Act 3 is supposed to be the emotional climax. This is where you really want some dramatic music. And this can be in some different trailers. It'll be sometimes about dialogue. It'll be just like random scenes. But I kind of continued a little bit more of what was going on in Act 2 onto this one. But this is cues about things. It's not usually not something that's specific to the plot. And then the last one is sort of like the option. You don't always have to have it. Is the button, which is sometimes the last or final tease. And this could be something where you have like a little joke or action scene or sneak into one last thing for the viewer wants to see, like a little Easter egg. You don't have to have this one. It's kind of well, in my case, I kind of actually moved the button. My button's really right here, because this right here is more of part of the Act 3 from what I did here. And like I said, most of this stuff was just a general guide, and when I went to render, I just highlighted all this stuff, and I just sit here and I just click enable, disable to remove all that text. So that is just your basic general guide for how you want to break up and set up, or break down and set up your different acts or stages of your trailer. Usually you don't want to be any longer than 2 minutes. And you're not telling a short story. Now as far as the music here, like I said earlier, in Act 1 you kind of want to start up with like music, and it builds up, and music is supposed to help fill the scene. Instead of spending hours going through the free music sites to try to find all different songs, I just took one song that had kind of a build up, and of course you'll hear it once I play the trailer. But now let's get into some of the stuff I did. Now, if I don't know if so you can tell or notice, you see how here Uraraka's hair is her natural brown, but here how it is. And one of the things you want to do, we'll get in here, is you kind of want to increase your saturation and brightness if you're doing romance, because romance will tend to be a more warmer feeling movies and stuff or series, and so you kind of want to increase your saturation and brightness. I don't know if there's any specific increase, it probably varies among the project, but you want to give that softer, warmer tones for that warmth. Let's see, what are some of the other stuff I did? Now, yes, I did the Carter vignette. There are some of my scenes. Now, here in it's the actual animation. They kind of got a little soft, cloudy vignette going on, and kind of you do. I have one here. I don't have nothing behind this, so that's why you see the black. If I was to put a color thing there, that could change the color, but you have you can see it here too, the vignette. And that's to help give a little bit more softer, to help draw your focus into the center of the character. That's something you can do. And let's see, you can see right here I got the hue saturation in the vignette, and you can change the amount of this. Oh yeah, going up back to the title frame for this one, you can see all I did was use the scale and transformation. Now I do have it nested, and I kind of covered this a little bit in my video on nesting. You can put all the stuff here in the nesting, and that way you can kind of move every individual thing around. And I'll click it back here on sequence. It may not be nested, it might be one of my other videos that kind of detail. But once you got everything nested together, then you can kind of go in, and then you can actually just let's see, where is the one I want? Let's do fisheye. As you can see, once everything's nested, you can apply effects that affect everything equally, as if it's one individual frame instead of 3 separate pieces. But delete that. But basically, I just did the simple opacity and scale. So I just have it come on in. I kind of did a little too fast. I probably needed to actually sit here and let's see. I probably should have. What I should have originally did was probably bringing out the here. I'm just clicking the keyframes. I do cover how to do this in the video, and how to do the keyframes, as well as some of the other effects. And nesting, each one of these I have a video on. I kind of go a little bit more detail. I probably need to redo the nesting because I've learned some more about it since I made that video. Let's see, is there anything else I did? Yeah, you can see I took out some audio in some areas. And you do that by just clicking on the track, and you just hit the link unlink, which will separate the video from the audio. There's some stuff. Oh yeah, there was a few of these areas, like right here. I did a transition. Now, I'm not a. Sometimes the actual transition tool or the cross dissolve tool here works okay, but I, for some reason, didn't really feel it. So what I did is I set keyframes up, and I just changed the opacity. There's two ways you can kind of. There's a different way you can kind of do it, and the reason is to me, I wanted to do the keyframing because I feel like it gave me a little bit more better control over the dissolve. Because I know sometimes some of these, when you try to do it, especially when I try to do it here, I'm having to do the title frame, I'm having to do scale and opacity, and this one, I'm doing the opacity for this, but I think I also had to do something. Yeah, I had to do it also different dissolve, and to me it was easier just to keyframe and change the volume to get the timing right than trying to do the different fades. And I go through this in its own video too, how to do these different fades. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I can think of. All the effects and stuff I kind of gone through. Because one thing you do want to do in some of the romances, you don't always want to do these hard cuts, although I did do some of them. You want to do these transitions, dissolves. I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I did. Let me take a quick look through. Yeah, I did. Now, some of these, you could probably tell why I kind of split some of these scenes up to give a bit more creative storytelling. And so and that's a good thing to do, to sit down and try and play around with an anime or movie or show that is not necessarily that particular genre. Like I chose My Hero Academia, if I can talk, where it is specifically an action, but it does have some romance underlaying in the background between some of the characters. And so it was a good challenge for me to try to turn it and make it appear like it is a romance series. And so, without any further ado, let's watch the trailer.
Hey, Deku!
Uraraka!
I love your costume! Not too flashy, you know? I should have been more specific about what I wanted.
I'm actually going to be a hero. Or I'll just die.
Isn't this all, like, way nerve-wracking? Well, guess I'll see you inside. I'm so psyched! I've been looking forward to this camp all semester, Deku!
Oh, yeah! It's definitely close, huh? Is it because you like it?
Thank you so much for doing that. But no, you're wonderful, Deku. I keep seeing that over and over again. During the cavalry battle, I told you it was good to team up with friends. But now that I think about it, I don't like this. Why do I feel so flustered? I was fine when I was fighting earlier. But now, I might have been trying to rely on you to get by. This buzz in my chest. What am I doing? I've got to push these feelings down. You got a crush on someone, right? So do I. And I bet you also want to be exactly like that special person, huh? Everyone's facing their future and giving this their best. That means we're all rivals. Even you and me, Deku. So, guess I'll see you in the finals. I'll put these feelings away. I'll focus on working just as hard as he does. And reach my dream!
And that's the basic rundown on how to make a movie trailer specifically for a romantic movie or series, I should say. And of course, if you want to help support me in any way, you can check these websites right here. The link to some of the stuff's in the description. And as I stated in the video, I did different videos already on some of the stuff I used, such as keyframing. I did use keying for the all where I had everything marked for what section and that stuff. I used that. I used the text, special effects, dissolve fade. You can check all those videos. Now, if you want to see another thing where I do combine some of the stuff together, check out my video on making a CTR style video right here. And that way you can also learn how to combine some of this stuff together and create special effect if you want to get that old vintage VCR look or CTR television. Until next time, have a nice day.